This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlemle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, just a touch, UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, let's go. In this edition, members of Parliament complain about what they describe as poor security in the House after a 35-year-old attempted suicide at the public gallery.
It's not sufficient to swipe a card to enter Job 600. We want all the precincts of Parliament to be equally secure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister for Special Development and Initiative admits there are issues with the implementation of the One Village, One Dam project, but says she's satisfied with work done so far.
And if you are constructing 560 dams, definitely you have some issues. So I am satisfied for now, even though it's not completed. But I know at the end of it, everything will be completed as expected.
President Akufo-Addo secures release of Ghanaians and some Nigerians detained in Trinidad and Tobago prisons for immigration violation after a deal with authorities there.
I have one piece of good news. The Ghanaian who's in jail for immigration problems, Prime Minister Rowley, has assured me that he's going to be released.
In sports.
Now, House of Oak's new Chief Executive Frederick Moore says beating rivals Kumasi and Tikotoko on Sunday and going ahead to win the special competition will breathe life back into the club.
And helping Ghanaians to respect time, the story of the man courting the support of countries, including South Korea and Japan, to have his countrymen become time conscious.
For Ghana, we know them. As they said, 2 o'clock, perhaps the program is going to start 3 o'clock.
And later, the National Science and Maths Quiz Tech Fair gets underway. We have all the details here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And we'll soon be heading to Parliament, where MPs have been talking about their security in the House that follows that suicide attempt yesterday. But first, Minister for Special Development and Initiative, Mavis Howard-Kumsen, has admitted there are challenges with the execution of government's flagship 1V, 1D project, but says the concerns will be addressed. Some members in the beneficiary communities have raised concern about the nature of dams being constructed, questioning, among other things, their structural integrity and the capacity of the dams to meet the needs of the people. In the latest of the Joy News series shining light on the situation, correspondent Albert Sori visited the village of Dachio, where the chief insists the facility cannot address the purchase for which it was built.
Approaching the dam from the Bolgatanga township, we saw this embankment. It stretched over 100 meters. So at first sight, we were expecting to see on the other side of it a big dam full of water. But that was not the case. The entire landmass for this dam stretched a little more than 2 football fields, and the water covered just about half of that. We saw cattle and sheep drinking from the dam, a sign that the dam may be serving a purpose after all. But these youth of Dachio disagreed.
The youth were happy that we will be getting a dam which will help us in diverse ways. But it's like the contractor is done and he's left. And looking at the amount of water in the dam, it can't even sustain our animals. Neither talking of doing any other thing.
This water cannot sustain it to November. Neither talking of doing the dry season farming. This bank is being done by muddy soil. It's supposed to be gravel, so that it can also conserve some of the water.
They said after the contractor left the site, it appeared as though he had leveled the land rather than construct a dam or a dugout.
You see that it's just about your new level, and that is even the deepest part. In fact, when it rained first, the dam was getting full, but the spillway too is not located very well. So it was aiding the water to just pass out.
Just like the other dams we have visited so far, the Dachio Dam also has a spillway, but it has no canals to the surrounding farms. Naba Akaliga II is the chief of Dachio.
They said it's a recreational dam, but this one they constructed is not even a dugout. That's why I gave it the name to it, a football park. is too flat. And when they came, myself and my elders all agreed, and we provided them land to do the construction. And when they started it, I wasn't around. I don't know even the person who supervised the construction. And they did it the sort of way they did. What they did, it annoys me, so I don't go there. When I'm even riding, I don't want to look there. If the contractor fails to come back, then there that we will hold the government, because he provided a contractor to construct a dam for us, and he has disappointed us. We were growing rice on that pasture, but now it has been leveled like a football park. The nourishing manure on it is gone. We cannot farm rice on it again. So we will ask that the government should compensate us. If he cannot come back to complete the dam for us for the farming purpose.
The people of Dachio are predominantly farmers. So this dam and the government's One Village, One Dam initiative, if properly constructed, could create a lot of jobs for the youth through dry season farming. For now, the current state of the dam has left the people of Dachio disappointed. For Joy News, Albert Sori and Joshua Asa reporting.
But addressing journalists after a tour of some dams in the 5 regions of the north, the minister indicated that the dams are still under construction. My colleague Enes Kojomenu went on this tour with the minister and joins me in the studio now. Enes, exactly which communities did the minister visit and what did the people say?
We visited 6 communities. We started from Guno in the Nanton district. We moved on to Yamokaga, Pishigu also in Karaga, and we moved to Denugu, that's Garu East, that's in the Upper East region, Yabregu also in the Timpani district, and we rounded it up at Memogo, which is at Boko Central. Now, in all of these places, MFA, the people are generally grateful to government for this initiative because they say it will help them, with the all year round farming that they've been yearning to do. However, for instance, in Gunu, the people say that the embankment, they wish that it will be strengthened. You had Albert Sori also refer to that in the Dachio case.
But did you go to Dachio?
We didn't go to Dachio, yes. Okay. So for Gunu, the people want the embankment strengthened. The response is that the dam is under construction. For Denugu, the people say that they want a bridge constructed so that it will link the communities surrounding the dam so that they can have continuous access to the dam when it's completed. And then finally, when you go to the last place we visited, which is Demago, the people say that they want it extended because they think it's a large community. If the dam is expanded, then it can serve them well. We can listen to some of them.
That he is very sure that it's going to be helpful to them. However, his concern or their concern is that the dam wall is not too large in his estimation. He thinks that if the water accumulates too much, it may overflow the dam. So in his view, he thinks that it may need to be restrengthened or even enlarged.
Abayanse ne adwuma pa omaya man ewo de nugo ha omu bebre guachire ti esra ban se bridge bi wo ho wonye man ena dam line na omaye no eno so no omomodin na omoye na enkosoro.
He is thanking the government and his elders who came to observe the dam. Now, and his problem is to raise the wall and to make that bridge that the water will flow off. So that over there, if it flows and come and add this one will break. So that is his complaint. And we have so many community up there. He is begging the government to do that bridge here for the community over there to come so that the children will go to school here.
So we in Megogo look this dam. We've seen that others have not benefited. And we say thank you to the president. During dry season, we in Megogo, we are always quiet our hands and we're sitting down. We have no water body to do anything. So we want the president, the valley is ahead. So we are begging the president to get downstream one for us. Megogo is a large community.
So these are residents of the 6 selected communities that the minister taught. But how many dams are being constructed in all?
Now, the ministry has a target of 560. Initially 570, but 10 was taken out because we were told that Tamale Central cannot have dams, and so 560. But for now, they're rolling out 300 in 300 villages across the country. We should have dams being constructed. Okay. Again, she says that in all of these villages that have been selected, and some still have feasibility studies ongoing, there's no single dam that is completed in all of the 300. There's no single dam that is completed.
So she addressed the media, the selected media that went with her. What did she say about what she saw in the 6 communities?
She said she's satisfied with the work done so far, and she's sure that by the time the work is completed, these engineers would have fixed the issues. She talked about the fact that they have identified issues, and she's sure that the issues will be addressed by the time the dam is completed.
Today we've gone around and we've seen at least 6 of them that are still under construction. These projects started last year, February, but we had to do survey to even identify the areas that are suitable for the small dams. So as at the February that I mentioned, that was when we started with the survey work. So somewhere later, early part of this year, when some of the projects were awarded for constructions to begin. And you all saw that some of the projects are ongoing. We are about between 70, 80, maximum 90% completion. When we say 90% completion, the spillway, the embankments, and then the grassing and other ones will sum up to maybe 20, 15% to make up the 100% that we want the project to be completed. So as we are here, we've seen the phase 1 or the first phase of the project. And we're not saying there are no issues with the program. Definitely, if you are constructing about 300 for now, we are constructing 560 dams.
Now, Ernest, just before I let you off, in the claims of shoddy work, at least in our Joy News documentaries that we've done over the period on the 1V1D, the contractors have been largely blamed, especially by the chiefs and the residents. You've been speaking to one of these contractors.
Yes, I spoke to one of the contractors at one of the sites. He tells me, Albert referred to one case where he had the dam completed in just a week. This contractor tells me that it is possible to complete a dam, all things being equal, within 2 weeks. But the challenge with this specific dam is that, first of all, mobilization, and then because of the rains, it has to be targeted.
Ernest Kojome there, just returning from the tour in the up north on the 1V1D project. Now let's head back to Parliament, because members of Parliament are complaining about what they say is poor security in the House after a 35-year-old man attempted suicide there. They're concerned people are able to walk into the premises without any checks. Listen to Busa South MP, Clement Apak and other MPs.
I was in my office working on some letters, and 2 gentlemen entered my office. And when I asked them how they got access to my office, they couldn't explain. Mr. Speaker, these are very challenging times, and we need to be much more resolute in asking that our safety be prioritized. And I want to call on leadership to take our security concerns very seriously. It's not sufficient to swipe a card to enter Job 600. We want all the precincts of Parliament to be equally secure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I remember very well that several caucus meetings, joint caucus meetings, we've tried to appeal to members that, look, there is no way, absolutely no way, that Job 600 car park can contain all the 275 members of Parliament. It's not possible. And for that matter, we have appealed to members that if you don't have a driver, driving in and saying you want to enter your office and come is not possible.
You heard there some MPs complaining about the state of their security in the House. Joseph Opoku Gakpo is our parliamentary correspondent. He joins us on the line. So what has the Speaker been saying specifically to the claims being made by the MPs?
He makes the point that part of what they say is insecurity happening in the House is a result of their own doing as MPs, as they are able to get people in without the security people really thoroughly screening them, claiming that they are escorting the members of parliament, and he wants them to check their own attitudes as well.
Anybody who enters was aided by one member or another. If we breach the rules, if we quarrel with security men who prevent visitors we have not approved, how will the security men be able to assist us? I endure that often. But you trace, and the person entered in the name of some other MP, goes to see that MP, and then follows up to my place. All of them will come here. They check with us. If we don't give clearance, they won't come in. So the first security is we ourselves.
But Joseph, on that substantive issue, though, that is raising the security issues, which is the 35-year-old attempting suicide yesterday, have we heard an official, talk about it in the House?
Well, we gather that earlier today, the Marshal's office, which is actually the office that oversees security in conjunction with the police, they've been meeting, and leadership of Parliament have actually been engaging them, and a conversation around possibly reviewing the security procedures in Parliament has actually begun, and very soon those details will be communicated.
But apart from this, what else is happening on the floor?
The Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations has been on the floor, Bright Ekubobe, responding to questions about how some YEA staff have not received their salaries for the past 7 months, and he attributes it largely to issues having to do with accounting processes, which the ministry is working to fix. The Roads Minister is currently responding to questions, but one thing we're expecting a little later in the day is that the House will continue the consideration of the National Road Safety Authority Bill in order to make that particular commission an authority, and then they may begin work on the Vigilantism Bill in terms of the 58 amendments that's been proposed to the original bill that's been brought to the House.
Joseph Opoku Gakpo there. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's take a quick flight to Trinidad and Tobago now, because a Ghanaian and 2 Nigerians had to be released from that country's prisons after President Akufo-Addo brokered a deal with authorities there. The Ghanaian Musa Ibrahim was arrested by border agency officials of Trinidad and Tobago while traveling by sea with his child to neighboring Venezuela. Upon his arrest, they requested that he called his wife to show up at the immigration office to prove that he had ties in Trinidad and Tobago. When his wife responded to the request, the officials handed the couple's daughter over to her and imprisoned the man. Addressing the Ghanaian community during his visit to Trinidad and Tobago, President Akufo-Addo said he secured the release after meeting with the Prime Minister, Keith Rowley.
I have one piece of good news. The Ghanaian who's in jail for immigration problems, Prime Minister Rowley, has assured me that he's going to be released. This is in honor of my visit. There's 1 or 2 Nigerians who are also going to benefit.
Not just released, but integrated.
Released and integrated into the community, allowed to stay. He's assuming that they don't have any criminal or whatever, and if that is the case, that therefore is the news that I have for you. You can come into this country visa-free. There's no need, therefore, to get on the wrong side of the immigration authorities.
President Akufo-Addo. Back home, the National Insurance Commission says it will soon introduce a software to assist the police clamp down on persons issuing fake motor insurance certificates and driver's licenses. Police in Accra yesterday arrested 2 persons suspected to be behind the printing and issuance of fake insurance stickers and driver's licenses. The suspects were believed to have in their possession a software cable for printing the documents similar to those issued by the DVLA and the issuance of or some insurance companies. Joy News' Henry Kwesibedu followed the police team which carried out the arrest and has more in the following report.
What the commission is doing right now is to try and then set up a motor insurance database that is going to capture all insured vehicles in the country so that
in the heat of a day here in Accra, just behind the 37 office of a driver and vehicle licensing authority, some CID operatives of the Kaneshie District Police Command stormed the premises where the suspects operate from. As far as the eye can see, there are dozens of containers stocked with documents and other machines like scanners and printers serving as their offices. Just at the sight of the police, most members of the syndicate, generally known as Goro Boys, fled the scene. the police operatives apprehended one man and another woman. They, however, searched and seized scanned documents of the DVLA, national health insurance cards of some applicants, fake driver's licenses, forged motor insurance stickers, among others. Some insurance companies have been monitoring the activities of these persons and tipped off the police, leading to the arrest. They want joint action by other insurance companies. Salifu Abubakar is head of marketing and business development at Priority Insurance Company Limited.
Many a times you receive reports in the office. Clients will submit documents that you confirm from your system it's not there. And then we did our internal investigation and we realized we have fraudsters at the DVLs who have taken themselves to be issuing, fake stickers and other documentation. If we are able to get the other insurance company to come on board, it is going to be a fantastic, collaboration for us to work together and eradicate this, menace.
The two suspects are in police custody at the Kaneshie Police Command here in Accra, pending investigations. Henry Kwesi Bedu's report for Joy News.
Now, the National Insurance Commission says a motor insurance database to be rolled out in the course of the year should help deal with the problem. Justice Ofori is Commissioner for the National Insurance Commission.
What the Commission is doing right now is to try and then set up a motor insurance database that is going to capture all insured vehicles in the country so that we'll give the police some GOTA phones to help them just by scanning the vehicle's license plate number, tell them whether the vehicle is insured or not. So it's something that we are working on. We believe that it should roll out probably, if not the third quarter, maybe by the fourth quarter, we should have something running. It's good to go digital. That is the only solution to get these guys. So instantly, when you buy an insurance, you should get instant confirmation that the insurance is valid and you are with maybe company ABC. It's a big challenge that we realize and we are working towards. So there are some arrests that have been made, but as you arrest, there are still some bad guys out there. So we've gone through procurement. There's a company that has won the contract. So we are way ahead. What we are talking about is actually going to capture everything, every insurance that is, every motor insurance that is written in Ghana instantly.
We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, helping Ghanaians to respect time, the story of the man courting the support of countries including South Korea and Japan to have his countrymen become time conscious.
For Ghana, we know them. As they said, 2 o'clock, perhaps the program is going to start 3 o'clock.
And the National Science and Maths Quiz Tech Fair gets underway. We'll give you details.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports now. Ridwan.
Yes, House of Folk Chief Executive Frederick Moore says the club must win the Tier 1 competition to ensure they enhance their brand as they aim to get back to the big time. But the Phobians must first beat rivals Asante Kotoko on Sunday in the semi-final to be played at Accra Sports Stadium. The former Chief Executive of the Institute of Chartered Accountants has been outlining his objectives.
The short term is the NC competition. Okay. Right. We're training, we are preparing to win. And that is the objective that we want to set ourselves. In terms of the short term, making sure that we've got the best infrastructure in the country. Okay. Both the way we recruit, we do our transfer policy, and the back office is all pointing in the same direction. And then making the supporters aware or information, communication as to what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. In the long term, even in the medium to long term, what we want to be is the best club in the world.
You heard House of Folks Chief Executive Mr. Frederick Moore. And the Joy Sports team is in Dubai to cover the final week of the Black Stars preparations ahead of the start of the Africa Cup of Nations. Benedito Uso reports.
Redwan, extremely hot weather here, 45 degrees, and no wonder officials brought the team to this side to train ahead of the tournament, knowing very well that they're going to experience similar weather conditions in Egypt. And in terms of what the team are going to do, they will hold their last training session this afternoon around 5 p.m. That will be the same time they will play South Africa in their last trial game tomorrow. And of course, that game offers Coach Kwesi Appiah the opportunity to look at the possible starting 11 going into their first game at the tournament against Benin. That will be on the 24th.
And today we have the Joy Sports AFCON podcast, and that will be on air at 7 p.m. That's your sports for the afternoon, MF.
Thank you, Ridwan. Now, some children engaged in begging in Ghana say they've been forced onto the streets because their parents are unable to fend for them. On the streets in Accra and other cities, children as young as 8 loiter and beg for money to buy food, clothes, and other needs. In the following report, Joy News is in 10. Sharon Dankwa has been speaking to some of these children about life on the streets.
Each day, children line the streets covered in dust and a look of sadness as they prepare for a day of gesturing and begging for money. Most people consider the act these children conduct each day as a form of child labor, but children like Mac plainly see it as the only way he'll get back to school.
The reason I'm now standing in this traffic lane searching for money is because of money. So I need money, small money, to go back to school.
June 12th is established as World Day Against Child Labor by the International Labor Organization in an effort to bring recognition to the issue of child labor and work towards a goal of ending it with this year's slogan, "Children shouldn't work in fields, but on dreams." Child labor is an issue that many see as a one-way argument, but these children feel that ending labor will be the end of their survival and their fight to return to school.
My parents are poor. I am on the streets to raise some money for my family. I wish I could go to school, work hard and cater for my family, especially my mother. But we do not have the financial muscle. That's why we are on the streets.
About 2 million children since 2017 were involved in child labor, and that includes these children here who work because their parents cannot. These children spend the majority of their day working for money that only amounts to roughly 20 cities, enough to feed both them and their family.
We have not getting money, spend money like that. We just need plenty money to go back to school and see some for our parents.
Reporting for Joy News, Sharon Denkwa.
Now, GMT is the acronym for Greenwich Mean Time, but in Ghana, it's got more than just that meaning. It also stands for Ghana Man Time. This is because it's thought that Ghanaians are mostly late for almost every appointment, from business meetings to church weddings. Well, there's a man who's championing an attitudinal change. Emmanuel Amakwe has been courting the support of the embassies of some countries, including South Korea and Japan, to have this become a reality. Efwa Evans Chinwe has more.
The last time you were invited to an event, did you show up early or did you slump into Ghana Man Time mood?
For Ghana, we know them. As they said, 2 o'clock, perhaps the program is going to start 3 o'clock. So let me prepare myself by 2. I'll leave house to that place, for that place.
There's this perception that probably should the person get there on time, probably the event organizers haven't even started anything at all, or probably the number that probably people are waiting for them to start the event, probably maybe if it's about 200 people, we realize that maybe about 10. So people would prefer to rather go late.
The Punctuality Ghana Public Education Project aims to reverse that trend. Leader of the group, Emmanuel Amakwe, argues that since time is money, effective time management can lead to rapid socio-economic development. So far, the group has received endorsements from 16 firms who have all pledged to ensure they place more value on time and draw others to follow. South Korea Ambassador to Ghana, Kim Sung-soo, said the move by Punctuality Ghana came as no surprise, as President Akufo-Addo had on many occasions stressed the need for Ghana's working force to adopt the habit of punctuality. He challenged persons in leadership positions to set the right examples when it comes to time management. The Japanese ambassador, Tsutomu Himeno, lauded Ghanaians for their hospitality and further called on them to combine with effective time management so as to improve productivity.
on Monday, it all starts is the National Science and Maths Quiz. But ahead of that, the third edition of the Side Tech Fair has officially opened with dozens of exhibitors, largely drawn from basic, junior and senior high schools across the country. The fair provides a platform where students present their science project results in the form of a report, display board and models they have invented already. The Methodist girls, we are told, have also displayed some robots and all there. But what's trending on social media, Maps?
Well, President Akufo-Addo said Ghana is certainly the safest country in the West African region, and people have been responding to that. Desmond Osu says, not true, sir. Robberies, kidnapping, murders, high rates of accidents. Please present a clear policy and monitoring strategy to address these concerns to us, the ordinary citizens. And Prince Ajeman actually agrees with the president and says it's perfectly true. And Samuel Pinto says, what has your government done about your own 3 citizens who got kidnapped last year? And remember, the hashtag for NSMQ is hashtag NSMQ on joy.
And that's it for the midday news. I am Emefa Apau. Please enjoy your weekend.